This week on Feel Good Friday, toddler brain activity could predict IQ. One man's fantasy has become his reality. Bark, bark. Ants smell like cheese. And a cat bite ruined one man's life. Oh yeah, baby.
Bark, bark.
Bark, bork, bork.
Bork, bork, everybody.
Guys, I love Feel Good Friday.
Me too. Actually,
guys, I don't know how many headlines I've seen about
the bark bark?
About the bark bark.
oh yeah, I haven't
You
seen
know what
anything
it is.
about bark, bark.
All right, well, listen,
Seen a
before
lot
we
of
get
headlines about
into that, typically we save What the Health for the end of the show. But Taylor, you got to go babysit. So you're gonna dip out of here real soon, which makes me want to just skip right down to What the Health right off the bat. So let's kick this episode off with this week's edition of What the Hell? All right. A UK man bitten by a cat contracts previously unknown and extensive bacterial infection.
Wait, have we talked about this already?
We have not.
What was the thing? What's the thing with cats?
Well, cats have
Oh.
toxoplasmosis.
Plasmosis.
Plasmosis,
That's what I'm
which,
thinking about.
which that's different. You don't get that from
That
a
makes
cat
you go
bite.
crazy.
You get that from cat litter or like cat poop.
Yes.
And that doesn't make you go crazy. It makes you go fucking Travis Pastrana. You know, it makes you go,
it makes you wild.
turns you into Steve-O.
Like a manic.
You know what?
Puts you into like a manic.
No. It puts you into you don't even know you have it. It just makes you riskier.
Oh, right.
So I mean,
yeah.
this is separate from what we're going to talk about. But basically, from what I gathered, toxoplasmosis is like when mice have it. If a rat or a mouse gets toxoplasmosis, it literally looks for cats. Now, obviously, that's the last thing you want to be doing as a mouse because a cat's going to go
looking for trouble.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
guys,
meow,
I just
I'm
want
gonna
to,
eat you.
before we like really dive into it, I just want to talk about all the different sayings that have to do with cats and really dissect them and figure out what they mean, because there's like, you could be the cat's pajamas.
Yeah.
You could be the cat's meow.
Yeah.
Yep.
What about the cat's pee? That's a thing. Cat's pee.
I don't think
You
so.
can be cat like.
Oh, I don't know if
you're-
you're bee.
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think it's like what? Like I think you use it in a sentence like, "What's the cat's pee?"
Okay, enough of that. Meow. Let's talk about what you were talking about.
Yeah, let's
you
talk
say
about
meow?
rat meow.
What?
Yeah, how are you doing?
Surprised you didn't mention pussy.
Wait, that's not the cat's pussy.
No, just pussy.
Just pussy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
because
The cat's. What about if
probably the
there's
most
the
common
cat's
association.
pajamas? Is there the cat's
What does that mean? The cat's pajamas.
vagina?
I don't know. I think I've heard of it. Like it didn't set off my. It didn't make me tingle when you said it.
All right, let's move on. So a 48-year-old UK man, bitten by a stray cat. That's my.
Oh, you nailed it up until cat. Then
It's because the cat bit my tongue.
Whoa.
Whoa! Cat caught your tongue. You know what I mean?
Wait, what's up with all the cats?
Yo!
Do you guys know what cat's pajamas means?
no.
Probably something. Is it racist?
The term cat also was coming into use by the flapper set as a slang word for a person or cool person. Thus, the cat's pajamas became a way to say that someone was cool,
Well,
great,
I mean,
special,
yeah.
the best.
that's kind of
Okay.
built into the tone.
Other phrases such as
okay.
the gnat's whiskers
You're gonna.
were invented
gnat's
around the same vein.
I like that.
Yeah,
Let's
keep going.
let's
Yeah,
bring
the
that back.
bee's
The
knees.
gnats. So this story is the gnat's whiskers. A 48-year-old UK man bitten by a stray cat developed painful hand swelling and extensive infection caused by a previously unknown bacterium, a new study has revealed.
Be careful. He's got a mouthful of teeth. I've got him by the head.
Now,
Oh, he's out. He's loose.
This is actually-
Whoa. Here comes the head.
this is
Here
from the
comes
moment.
head. Watch it. Watch. Ah, he's on me. God, he's gone. He's bitten me.
Now, the research
Oh,
published.
I got a bad bite.
The research published recently in the journal Emerging Infectious Diseases describes the case of the 48-year-old obese man who was admitted to the emergency department in 2020 with hand swelling, multiple puncture wounds and abrasions
Hold on.
about 8 hours after sustaining bites from a feral cat.
That's what the clip is from.
Man, I got a bad bite.
Wait, hold on. Is this obesity relevant?
Well, no, they described the case of, yeah, I mean, I guess it's relevant. Like,
Oh, because it's a case study. Okay.
a 48-year-old
Yeah, sure.
a 48-year-old man, obese, comes in.
Sure. They're just doing like a physical description of like in a case study. It makes sense. In an article.
Oh, sorry.
like a news article. I was
My
like,
bad. I actually, sorry, I missed that. So, sorry. Oh, for fuck's sakes. The research published recently in the journal Emerging Infectious Diseases describes the case of a 48-year-old ugly as fuck obese man who was admitted to the emergency department in 2020. I missed that.
Scientific.
Yeah, it's very scientific.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm sure he was handsome. I don't know. I mean, he sounds handsome.
It's a clinical
Man, I
clinical
got a bad
vignette.
bite.
Researchers, including those from Cambridge University hospitals in the UK, discovered a novel species of the bacterium. Wow, dude. Okay, listen to this. The bacterium Globicatella that caused extensive soft tissue infection in the man bitten by the cat.
I got a bad bite.
Previous research has shed light on the potential role of cats as reservoirs of yet undiscovered pathogens and potential zootonic infections that can jump from animal to humans as their long, sharp teeth can cause deep bite injuries.
I got a bad bite. He's wrapped around me. I got to get out of this stuff. I got a bad back. I got a bad bite.
I got a bad back.
dude. I mean, we all know about the lab leak theory and the pangolin theory, but this is the oft overlooked
Feline theory.
feline theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Keep your hands away from those pussies.
Do you guys think that the cat's pee is actually just short for the cat's pajamas?
I think you just made up the cat's pee.
No.
I don't think that's a thing.
You're the cat's pee.
You can't just say it.
That's cool.
I'm infuriated. While the man was treated for potential infection, administered a booster dose of the tetanus vaccine, given a number of oral antibiotics, and discharged, he returned to the emergency department 24 hours later with an infection in his left. Oh, I see. His left little and right middle fingers. So his left pinky and his right middle finger.
Is that the
What the
technical
fuck was this
term?
guy doing? Was he just like clapping at the cat? Like, how do you get both? I mean, I guess cats are nuts, dude. Like, when cats bite, they like, it's like that.
Man, I got a
But
bad bite.
they do bite
bad
bad.
bite.
But like, how did he get his left pinky?
I'll tell you.
Like, what's this guy doing? Just like,
Here, I'll tell you.
You know what I mean?
So Brian had a cat when we were growing up named Oliver, an all-white cat. Was he albino? He had red eyes, did he not?
No, he didn't have red eyes.
Did he have blue eyes?
Yeah, he had blue eyes.
was he aware? Was he aware?
Maybe
Cat?
I think he had red eyes because he was evil as fuck.
He
This
was
cat
evil.
was vicious.
Yeah.
I felt really
vicious,
bad.
vicious.
We weren't nice to the cat when
No, we
when he
weren't. We
was
didn't
young.
treat
And
the cat very well.
And then later in life, I reforged a strong connection with him, but it was only before he died.
Anyway,
that I
he was
really able
very,
to-
You heard it here first, folks. A couple of animal abusers on the show.
He was.
I am not.
He
that.
was.
We didn't abuse him. We just
Taylor bullied,
didn't-
not only bullied kids,
show
but
him.
bullied cats as well.
So anyway, Oliver was
do that,
not
yeah.
nice, and he might let you pet him for like a moment and seem like it was okay, and then
just
out of nowhere,
Yeah.
it's like bite, scratch, like vicious.
yeah.
And I sustained many injuries over the years by Oliver because I always felt drawn to him.
Mm.
He always made me feel like
trying to bully him.
he always made me feel like there was an opportunity for change and that I might be the catalyst for that change if I could just show him enough love, the love that I had not shown him in his early years. And for that reason, I always like put my hand out and tested the waters. I was drawn to it. Always wanted to test
See,
the waters with
that
Oliver.
putting the hand out is such a bad idea though, because
Yeah.
you know it's
Go face
interesting?
first?
Well,
I mean, obviously, this guy did the same fucking thing and got both his pinky finger on one hand and the middle finger on another bitten.
you know, but
Cats are fast.
but
man.
animals can sense your like hesitancy and
Yeah.
your timidness, and so like with Rupert, for example, I taught him when I was training him. Like I put my palm out, and he touches my palm with his nose, and then I would like give him a treat or feed him his dinner or whatever, and so when people are afraid of Rupert and they step back or like put their palms up to like push him away, sort of like like create space between themselves. He's like, oh, I gotta touch those open palms.
Yeah.
And so he's like kind of like trying to jump up and poke them, but he's not being aggressive. He's just like, oh, we're playing a game. But people like always do that, like, no. And like it just makes the animal go, whoa, what the fuck are you doing? And they freak out.
Yeah.
And then they bite you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think we're all pretty aware of the fact that like just don't have a cat, and B, don't pet cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't touch cats.
You
If
can do
they're
anything
kittens,
to dogs out.
fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. They're too little to hurt.
Once
But
they're
as soon as they are a
cats,
full-grown cat,
Get rid of
you
them.
might as well be a fucking tiger.
get rid of them. Yeah.
So this is actually horrendous. When researchers analyzed the swabs from his infection in the right middle finger for microorganisms, they found an unrecognizable organism similar to Streptococcus, a bacteria linked to strep throat, pink eye, and meningitis. So an unknown bacterium.
And you know meningitis is no bueno.
I do know this because I am currently about to release a little video to spread awareness for Men B, which I've just come to realize is fucking terrifying.
Meningococcal?
Meningococcal B is pretty scary.
Cockle anything is scary.
So, anything with cockle is scary. However, the bacterium,
Meningococcal?
bacterium's genome did not match any strains previously on record, indicating it was a new microbe that has never been previously documented. Researchers then found the new bacterium belonged to a genus of gram-positive bacteria called Globicatella that differs from related strains, suggesting it is a distinct and previously undescribed species. How the fuck does that happen? Like, I suppose maybe the
I know
cat's just
exactly.
hanging out in like shady places, you know?
I know exactly how this happened.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Does it say anything about a farm?
Nope. I mean, my guess is this is an alley cat.
No, what happened was there was a bright light in the middle of the night. And out
I
behind
hate
the
this
farm-
already. I'm already so annoyed.
out behind the farm, there was something that crashed into the earth.
Huh.
And it was...
Okay, I'm starting to
you
like
know,
this now. I'm liking where this is
It
going
was
now.
actually... they were not able to fully identify it. Some would say it was unidentified, but it did come from
Non-human origins.
non-human origins, and the cat happened to be, curious as cats are, and walked up to this, some might call it a crash site, and when this cat approached, there was maybe some sort of otherworldly bacteria that got onto the cat. It was startled. The guy went to comfort the cat, not knowing that it had been so startled from the crash, and the cat lashed out at him and bit him. And
You know what
then
this is?
Transferred the bacteria.
You know what this
to the
is?
I
human
don't
being.
think science knows, actually.
This is this right here. That fodder, catnip for Jer.
Not quite. Not quite. I'm not gonna bite, if you know what I'm saying. All right. So anyway, cats are dangerous, I guess.
Hundo.
Experts noted that cats have a potential to cause deep tissue bite injuries with the direct inoculation of their saliva, posing a high risk of secondary infection. And people are advised to immediately wash wounds from cat bites with soap or salt or bleach and see a doctor right away. So cats,
Actually, bleach your skin.
no. That this is not a medical podcast.
You added that.
I added that. That was fake.
Okay.
Don't do that.
Definitely.
But definitely, if a cat bites you, you should probably drink some bleach. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, that was satire. Just want to cover
Which is
our bases
why
there.
our podcast.
Just because you said drink bleach.
No, I was dead serious. Drink bleach. It's at the CDC is that's what they're saying.
Which is why this is why our
this is a comedy
Instagram-
podcast.
This is why our Instagram account has not been taken down in Canada yet.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy podcast. It's a comedy
Yeah,
podcast.
yeah, that's right.
And
Oh.
and this is all for good fun. Thank you for putting.
Did you know that brain activity as a toddler may predict IQ at age 18? A decades-long study has revealed.
I bet that's super fascinating. I'm
But you
gonna
gotta go check on your
Yeah, you
toddler.
better go
brain
check on the
activity.
brain activity of your
Yeah,
toddler.
she's not a toddler yet, but she's not too far off.
She's a toddler. She's walking around going bye 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 bye. The fucking squirrels running up trees now. That's
is,
toddler
yeah.
shit.
She is. It's very cute.
Saw that
All right, love y'all.
All right, see you. The way that a young child's brain hums along at rest could predict their activity intelligence for later in life.
Huh.
This is very, very interesting stuff, and I hope Taylor listens to it when this episode comes out, which I highly doubt he will. Researchers in the United States and Germany have followed up on a past study in Romania to show, for the first time, how a kid's upbringing might influence their brain power years down the road.
You don't say.
The famous study called the Bucharest Early Intervention Project, the BIP, began in the early 2000s and tracked the cognitive development of abandoned children in Romania. Oh my God. Ugh. Comparing the cognitive abilities of fostered and institutionalized children with those who grew up in home care, researchers found institutionalized children had relatively lower IQs at 18 years of age. In this latest research, scientists found a relationship between brainwave patterns and those IQ scores in the same data. So, quote, these findings demonstrate that experientially induced changes in brain activity early in life have a profound impact on long-term cognitive development, highlighting the importance of early intervention for promoting healthy development among children living in disadvantaged environments, the researchers write. Today, the way that a person's brain behaves at rest is thought to remain relatively stable across adulthood, even as active brain power fluctuates with age. How this stable resting activity is developed in early life, however, is poorly understood. So we're not there yet to know how that sort of brain activity will affect us going forward.
Mm-hmm.
As the typical human child grows from a toddler to a 10-year-old, their resting brain activity is usually marked by fewer low frequency or slow brain waves and greater high frequency or fast brain waves. The slow waves during rest tend to be associated with the pruning of unnecessary neural connections, which makes the brain more efficient when actively tackling mental tasks.
I got those fast waves.
That's that fast twitch.
You got those fast waves?
Dude, a little too fast, to be honest with you.
Me too.
I mean, I was talking to my mom the other day, and she said that when I was a kid, I was like, "What was I like as a kid?" And she was like, "Well, you know, you were hyper. You were always getting into the toilet." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Getting into the toilet?"
I actually heard her
It's like
say
put
this.
your hands in the toilet. You know,
When she first said that, I pictured you climbing into
in. That's
the
what I
toilet,
thought she meant.
which wouldn't have been,
I mean-
which would have not been good for you.
No, no. It's funny. And I was like, did anyone did anyone never say anything about like did teachers ever say anything? My mom was like, oh yeah, all your teachers, they all just said, Maxine, we think he has ADHD. And I was like, don't you think it would have been nice to maybe follow up and look into that a little further? And she was like, no, you were just
fine, just a kid.
she was like, you were just your Ventolin got you hyper. I was like, fuck's sakes, Mom. So this is a key step in refining a child's cognitive development, but it occurs too much or for too long. But if it occurs too much or for too long, it can become detrimental.
Wait, how do you make the slow waves?
Well, I think it's during rest, right? So
Yeah. So you need to rest
again,
more.
Again, their resting brain activity is usually marked by fewer lower frequency or slow brain waves and greater high frequency or fast brain waves. So I think that, you know what? I'm too dumb to know what the fuck that means, but
Because we didn't have enough attention as children to be able to digest this content.
I mean, my IQ is probably 12, so fucking, I'm surprised I can even read this.
it's good if your IQ is the same as your age, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I got an IQ of 35. If a young child doesn't receive enough emotional support or cognitive stimulation, evidence suggests it can affect their neurocognitive development, possibly by impacting neural pruning. So if they don't, what I'm gathering here is like if they don't receive enough emotional support, enough love, then that like slow wave pruning method that sort of gets rid of the neural pathways that aren't helpful. They don't get as much as that, as much of that.
Because I love computers. It's like you got too much in your cache. You got too much.
Yeah,
like
right.
You haven't cleaned out your temporary folders.
Yeah.
And
Shit starts glitching.
The slow waves,
Yeah.
they clean that shit out, but the fast waves, they don't.
That's right.
That was really well timed.
Thanks. So an IQ assessment of 202 18-year-olds who've been enrolled in the Bucharest study revealed that those with lower scores tended to have more slow wave activity as toddlers.
Mm.
So the toddlers that had the higher activity, they were, I'm guessing their IQs were tended to be higher. Those kids that had more of that slow wave activity as toddlers kind of nerfed their IQ. The results suggest that slow wave activity in a child's resting brain can somehow mediate the effects of institutional rearing and the time of foster care and the time of foster care placement. The authors say the significant correlation they've identified is particularly striking given the long time span between measurements and the number of personal and environmental factors that can influence cognitive development in life's early stages.
You know what's annoying is it's annoying how they can predict so much about you now. You know, like there's so many like predictors of you know, like your health outcomes, your like all these different sort of outcomes. I mean, obviously they're just looking at the data of like, hey, if this happened to this many people, so therefore if you're this type of person, then there's this chance that it's going to happen to you. But I mean, nobody's fate is sealed. You know, there's obviously the opportunity to like defy those odds, but it's annoying how much they can tell you about yourself and how right it can be sometimes. Like I find that the reason why I bring it up actually is I'm thinking about like therapy and like, you know, like the sort of sometimes therapy feels like I'm this is kind of risky to associate these two things together because it's not at all. But you know, when you go to like a psychic and they're like asking you questions to like feel things out about you and then like predict things about you that are true and then dig into that and use that to get money from you. Sometimes therapy is like a little bit like that, like reading into like your experiences and like, oh, you like, you know, you struggle with public speaking now. Well, maybe nobody paid attention to you as a kid, you know, and you're like, oh, fuck, that's true. But like in a way that's like actually kind of helpful, but feels weirdly like.
Wait, are you saying that psychics aren't helpful?
No, they're not.
Speak for yourself. I love a good psychic.
I mean, psychics are better than mediums. Psychics are more
regardless,
fun than
to
mediums.
me, it's all just so fun.
Is there a difference then between psychics and mediums? Like, is a
I think so.
Medium?
I think
medium like speaks to the dead.
I think a medium speaks to the dead, and the psychic just predicts the future.
Okay.
You know? It's like is there a difference between the weatherman and
a meteorologist?
Well, no, I mean that is a weatherman. So, is there a difference between the weatherman who predicts the weather and the like black ops, deep state government research that is controlling the weather?
Okay,
like is there a difference? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one is real and one isn't. You know, like the meteorologist can't really predict shit, and the chemtrails are real. So
that's right.
Like,
that's right.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
So anyway, I mean, to be honest with you, I have no idea what we just covered.
Yeah. Me neither.
I think just like love your kids, and they will end up being smarter than they would be if you don't love them.
Maybe, yeah.
You know.
Maybe who knows?
So
or at least happy.
There's no such thing as too many hugs. Or maybe there are. I don't know. Speaking of someone who maybe received too many hugs or maybe too little hugs, I don't hold on. I feel like that came across as mean. I don't mean for this to be mean, but I also find this to be deeply fascinating, and so I don't want to yuck anyone's yum, but I'm also just like I'm curious about why.
Why what?
Tocco the dog.
Oh no.
A Japanese man named Tocco. He transformed himself into a dog.
You said Tocco the dog, and then you said a Japanese man named Tocco, and I was like, they're not the same though, are they?
They are the same, and so this man he turned himself into a dog. using a fucking super realistic costume that he said he hides his canine alter ego from his friends because he's worried what they'll think. They're going to think it's weird, which I think he's right. I think he is right in hiding this from his friends because I feel like his friends probably would get a little bit weirded out.
How adjacent are we to, or like warm or cold are we to like the Black Alien Project?
Pretty cold. That guy is legitimately altering the rest of his life by, unfortunately, just destroying his body.
Okay, so Tocco is not
through surgery. This guy isn't getting surgery.
Okay.
But this guy is spending. I mean, this guy might need surgery on his back, for sure. After a while,
is he running on all fours?
no, this guy is a dog. If you were sitting in a Starbucks, having a coffee, reading a book, and you lift your head out of the book and you just kind of look off outside the window, just kind of staring off, and you're thinking really hard about something, and Tocco walked by with his owner. Maybe he's, I don't know. Is it like, I'm guessing it's like, I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I mean, he's getting walks.
Okay.
He's getting walks. So if Tocco walked by with his owner and you were looking off in the distance, but he didn't look at Tocco, but just the Tocco the dog walked by your peripheral, you would have not had any clue that was a human. You want a video? Do you want to see Tocco?
I do. Is he a large breed?
He is he would be what would be like a medium large breed. He is right there. That's Tocco.
Whoa.
So no, this is not a dog. This is a man in a $15,000 dog suit that he had made.
Whoa.
$16,000.
He
looks like a border collie.
It kind of looks like a robot. Like it kind of looks like a really high-end robot.
I think Tocco's got to work on the movement. Oh, he just waved. Okay, he's waving at the camera. Yeah, don't
see. This looks like a robot here.
It does look a little robotic, doesn't it? That looks real. I mean, that looks real. I would give that boy a good tummy rub.
I mean, the suit is compelling. It's convincing. It looks
yeah. So
it looks legit.
He spent 2 million yen on a costume made a collie. Border collie costume, and is fulfilling his lifelong ambition of becoming a dog. Now he only, at the time of this article, he only wears the suit on special occasions. I think he's starting to wear a little bit more because this came out a year ago. He went viral as fuck like last week.
So now he's not wearing.
He's sort of coming out of the doggy closet. But I still don't think we know. I still think Tocco is kind of keeping himself hidden.
Honestly, the more you talk about this, the more I genuinely think that this might be my future.
I mean, look, he literally said, he said to Mail Online, ever since I was a small child, I wanted to be an animal. I think it is a desire to transform. I've thought about it since I can remember. He's a dog lover, obviously, and he said he has hidden his identity and his human face from the world because he doesn't want to be judged by people he knows. He said, I don't want my hobbies to be known, he said, especially by the people that I work with. They think it's weird that I want to be a dog for the same reason why I can't show my real face. Tocco, who used to have a medium-sized white mongrel called Mirai that looked similar to a Kishu. I don't know what these words are. Posted a video of himself dressed as in the collie costume on YouTube that blew up. Footage of him playing with a ball and doing tricks went viral as more than 4 million people watched the footage and thousands subscribed to his channel. Yeah. So, I mean, he's living out his dreams. I think I do. Like, I actually do think it's awesome. It's so unique. It's such a fucking unique hobby, to just be like.
It's not a hobby. It's a lifestyle.
Well, I mean, he referred, I'm saying hobby because that's what he said. But it's.
And they called it puppy love.
It is interesting.
I wonder if there is if there's anything sexual to it though.
Well, I mean,
like pup
if you
play,
want to live out your life that way.
Yeah. Pup play is a very like very unique, interesting kink that is very much like so pup play, people who are really into pup play, they're doing what Tocco is doing, but far less realistic. And it's like a role play where they're like, I'm going to pretend to be the puppy, and
Right.
I'm going to have my owner like give me a tail, and the tail's a butt plug, and like
It's
you know,
like
and
when you go into VR chat and you have like, like the stock avatars and you're like
Yeah.
dancing around in them, but then somebody comes in with like a way too realistic avatar and you're
yeah,
like,
you're like, whoa, the fuck,
okay,
Yeah.
that person took
Holy
it
shit,
to
you-
the, like,
you're- yeah.
like maybe Tocco is taking pup play to the next level.
Yeah, or it's not, for him, it's not sexual at all. It's literally just this like, I don't know, this like this,
Safe
this
space.
yeah, this feeling of like of wholeness in truly becoming a dog. When I was in theater school, we in our movement class, we had this assignment where we had to like become. Man, we had our teacher. She was wild. Her name is Pippa. She was a very interesting lady. And she had us do this exercise once where she was like, all right, we're all going to become wolves. And I'm the alpha of the wolf pack. And we're going to just like, we're not going to speak. We're going to fucking speak in barks and growls and whatever.
For the whole
For
class.
the whole class. And she was like, and we're going to see where the hierarchy lays. So you're going to show up as a wolf, and the whole idea of being in a wolf pack is like there's an alpha, there's a beta, there's everyone in between. But every once in a while, the position of alpha gets challenged for. And constantly the hierarchy is shifting. People are rising, people are falling. And she's like, so we're going to do that right now. Get down on all fours. And until I fucking say stop, you are now a wolf. You're a dog. And we all just got on our hands and knees. We're fucking barking at each other and fucking posturing up. And people are like pretending to pee in the corner and sniffing each other's assholes. And I just remember thinking like, A, this is fucking hilarious. Super fun. Also, if for some reason, because we were like this was at Toronto Metropolitan University, formerly known as Ryerson. And we were in one of the like major halls of the school.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in like a little corner room that was like a small sort of like studio space. And I remember thinking, if somebody is just like walk into history, like history 101, and they're like, it's like their first or second day on campus, and they're like, fuck, I don't know, maybe it's in here. And they opened the door and walked in on that scene. I think they would have called 911.
Everybody just starts growling at them.
Oh, just like just straight, like everyone just goes straight DMX on them, like.
but the thing about like when I think about like, haven't you ever just looked at Donut and thought, man, it must be nice,
It's a fucking nice life.
right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
imagine
He has no clue. He has no clue that Trump is going to be running for president for 2024.
Imagine
He has
maybe he'll be
no
in jail.
fucking idea that cats are out there biting people, giving them meningococcal B.
He really doesn't know.
All
much.
he
Yeah.
knows is I like having my belly rubbed. Daddy feeds me. And mommy gives me walks. That's all he
That's
knows.
kind of a good
fucking
life,
all he
right?
knows. Man, I mean,
So imagine
Tocco's got this shit figured out.
Well, right. So imagine you have like this guy has worked this desk job his entire life, is so sad and so miserable. All he wants to do is just be a dog and chill.
Do you think this guy's a CEO? I mean,
Maybe.
he's got 2 million yen to drop on a fucking border collie suit.
Right. So he's
Do you
definitely
think this guy's
definitely
like
making money.
This guy's king shit at work.
So imagine this. So which like oftentimes isn't it people who are in positions of power oftentimes like to be like
Well, again,
dominated
hey,
as a king?
whoa, why are you making this sexual for?
I'm not saying I didn't make it sexual. I was just saying.
But I mean, yeah, okay, sure. If you want to go down that road, it's not uncommon for people of high status and high power jobs to
Right.
to want to
I
feel.
mean, you said maybe he's
submissive.
a CEO. I wasn't suggesting that. I was saying what I wanted to say because I do actually think it could be a really wholesome picture. Because imagine this: he hates his job. He's worked at this desk job. He's kind of floated the idea around to his colleagues, like, hey, like, wouldn't it be cool if we were all dogs? And they're like, that's fucked up. And he's like, aw. And so he like slowly chips away in his basement at making this really ultra realistic dog
I
costume.
don't think this guy chipped away. I think this guy like
Just
I think
dropped
this
a
guy
stack.
outsourced. yeah, I think he outsourced.
And so anyway, it doesn't matter. He's been waiting for Amazon to show up with this delivery, and they finally show up with this amazing costume, and he puts it on, and he finally feels himself, and then he records himself because he feels empowered and feels confident for the first time in his life, and he publishes this video on YouTube, and it goes viral to the point that he's actually starting to generate some ad revenue, and he's now able
That's
to
it.
leave his job and continue
Yes.
to make these viral videos
Yes.
and just be the person or dog that
Yes.
he's always wanted to be. And he's finally discovered his true self and passion. Like maybe he's got it figured out.
Yeah. Well, I hope he gets his shots, and because God forbid he gets I don't know, what is it like? What's a dog disease?
I don't know. But tick bite would
Bordella?
be bad. Canine.
Rabies.
Yeah,
Make sure you don't get your rabies shot there, Tocco. All right, let's move on to
And make sure you get spayed and neutered. Have your dog spayed and neutered.
That's right. That's right. Oh, Tocco, don't do that. Well, I mean, maybe get a vasectomy or something if you need to. I mean, if you're out there fucking a bunch of other bitches though, and you want to make sure you're not like, having litters all over Japan. And I didn't mean bitches as in like the derogatory term that we would use
No,
for
you
human
mean
females.
female dogs.
I mean the
Yeah.
true sense of the word.
yes.
Because Tocco be bringing them bitches to the yard. You know what I mean?
I do, yeah.
I mean, look at this guy.
Man, he really needs to figure out his gait, though. Doesn't he?
I know. Tocco, you're like, just work. Yeah, he could. He could have used the movement class from
Totally,
from Toronto Metropolitan University's acting program by Pippa. All right, let's move on to this. This is an interesting. What are your thoughts? Okay, I'm just gonna play a TikTok video.
Love
You
it.
tell me your thoughts on this statement that this girl is making.
I can't smell dead ants.
So I'll translate. This woman's from Australia. It's kind of hard to understand what she was saying, but she said apparently people are out here saying that they cannot smell dead ants.
Yeah. So I see.
Have you heard of this?
No, but I see what's going on here. She made this video being like, "What? People can't smell dead
Yeah.
ants," and everybody else is like, "No, it's only you."
Not quite.
No.
Not quite. So this has
Does
spurred.
this surprise you?
It does. This well, of course it does, because I can't smell anything.
Yeah, my nose isn't great.
This spurred an unusual debate on TikTok. The video started the debate here, and the creator simply just was asking, can other people smell the disgusting scent of dead ants on the sidewalk? Now, in the comments and the replies, many agreed that they could, while others, and like most, vehemently said, "What the fuck are you actually talking about?
Yeah.
This is madness," and also refused to believe it. But this is one of those things. It's kind of like I guess it's kind of like the cilantro thing, where it's like some people are like, "I love cilantro," and some people are like, "Cilantro literally tastes like ass. Like it tastes like ass." Well, those people have a genetic mutation that makes them taste soap when they eat cilantro.
Okay, so I get that. Is it like that though, or is it like the blue and white and black and gold dress or
No.
whatever? Where like obviously the dress was blue and white. We
Wait,
all know this.
Yeah,
It wasn't black and gold or whatever. It just looked that way because of the color of the photo. We know the real color of the dress.
that's weird. I thought it was black and gold.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay. Well, this might blow your mind. Many common species of ants release pungent smells when they're in danger, squished, or otherwise dead. According to Clint Pennick, an assistant professor at Kennesaw State University and ant researcher. How fucking cool is that?
It's cool.
An ant researcher.
It's really cool.
The most common type of ant that people find in their homes is the East Coast and in the, the most common type of ant that people find in their homes on the East Coast and the Midwest is called the odorous, house ant. They're called the odorous house ant. And when it's squished, it releases a pheromone that smells like, what do you think I'm about to say?
Shit.
No, blue cheese.
No,
Now that is a pungent smell,
that's specific too.
very specific as well.
I don't believe this.
This odorous chemical belongs to a group of chemical compounds called methyl ketones. It's also produced by the penicillium mold that grows on rotting coconuts, and it's what gives blue cheese its distinctive pungent odor. But that's far from the only smell compound ants produce. Now, did you know that like ants and smells and pheromones are like, that's basically what runs ants' lives?
No, I did not know
They
that.
all communicate through scent and through
Okay.
pheromones.
But so that's why they have the feelers.
Their antennas are literally sniffers.
Okay. But wait, first of all, when you say smells like blue cheese, I know the taste of blue cheese, but if I
How
have
do you
like,
not know the smell of blue cheese?
if I have like a block of it sitting on my counter, which I don't usually because I don't really like it that much.
I love blue chease.
I
love
don't
it.
mind like a little bit of it
Stinkier
in
the
a
better.
salad or something, but I don't typically buy it. But like if I had it sitting
Yeah.
out on a counter, I mean, I'd have to be really close to it to smell a brick of it.
No, not dragon's breath cheese. You can smell that shit. It's pungent. I mean, if you don't know the smell of blue cheese, open up a bag of zesty cheese Doritos, take a big whiff. That's kind of like what you're smelling. It is a fucking cheese.
But even to that point,
You know?
so like as I'm listening to this, I'm like, okay, they're called odorous ants,
Yeah.
so I could believe that they have a strong scent to them relative to like their body size or whatever.
Yeah.
But ants are so fucking small. I find it hard to believe
I got another thing that's going to change your mind on this.
that they're so
probably.
stinky. Also, like I've never smelt an ant
Yeah.
in my life, so,
So-
like that's kind of the other thing that's making this hard to believe for
Yeah.
me because I just feel like, well, I haven't experienced it. So
Well, yeah, all of this is hard to believe for me because I can't smell anything anyway. Like my sinuses are fucking tanked.
but
Like
you can smell blue cheese.
yeah, but I have to of course
You gotta be close to it.
I do, but that's it. That's an outlier. Like most people can smell blue cheese normally.
It's pungent.
It is a pungent smell. But here's the other thing. As someone who has spent many a time in pubs and bars and many friends who are bartenders, this conversation's come up a number of times where I didn't realize this, but fruit flies also have a very distinct smell only for some people.
Yeah.
So there are people who can literally smell fruit flies and it is a super distinct smell. And there's other people that absolutely cannot. So this girl here that we just saw, that woman knows the smell and she's going, are you fucking kidding me? You guys don't smell the dead ants? And other people are going, I have no clue what the hell you're talking about. But here's the interesting thing. The odorous ant that probably if we found an ant in here, it would be one of those. We should find one. I don't want to find one and kill it because I don't.
No,
I
that's
don't
the other thing I was thinking about is I don't
I'm not
typically
killing
kill
ants. Yeah,
so
same. But they're not the only ants that smell. So some species, including the carpenter ants, they spray formic acid, a caustic chemical that smells a lot like vinegar when they feel threatened.
those guys blast through wood too, right? Which
Yeah.
is why they're called.
That's
carpenter
right.
ants.
Some people think that the ability to smell formic acid is genetic, like asparagus. And that might be why some people are more sensitive to this particular ant smell than others. Citronella ants are named for the distinctive citrusy scent they often produce.
Sounds
And
nice.
trapjaw ants release a chocolatey smell when squished. When ants die of natural causes, they also release oleic acid. So dead ants, quote, smell a little something like olive oil, Panic says. In most species of ants, these smelly chemicals are produced as a defense mechanism to ward off predators. Quote, most of the common ones, like the blue cheese smell, are to make the ants distasteful and functions maybe as an alarm pheromone to let other ants know there's dangers nearby. The citronella one is the same. It wards off predators. Formic acid literally burns you in high doses. Formic acid producing ants can even chase off bears.
Whoa.
Ants are dude, if ants were the size of donut, we would all be fucked.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
would
for
be
sure.
our species would cease to exist.
I mean, if there was the same amount of them and they were the
That's what I
size of
mean.
donut, they would just take over this entire planet.
That's what I mean. I mean, there's that
Yeah.
plus the fact that they would be picking up cars, running around, fucking spraying acid on people's faces. The whole place would smell like blue cheese and citronella, which is kind of
You know,
nice,
this is
actually.
the thing that
That's-
makes
that's
it.
actually kind of, it
like-
smells like a fucking nice like charcuterie board.
These are the types of illuminating conversations that really make me think about like, so if you walked into this room today, didn't tell me about this before we started having a conversation, and you asked me, if you said to me, hey, listen, what would you think if I told you that there is a spectrum of scent that you couldn't experience, but a lot of other people on this planet do? And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, oh man, that makes me sad. I wish I could smell that. I wish I could like experience what other people could experience. But then you told me that it was dead bugs that I'm missing out on smelling. I would actually, now that I think of it that way, I'm not sad.
So all these strong odors, they only encompass a small fraction of what scents that ants produce. Ants smell using their antennae, which are covered in chemical receptors and are far more sensitive to scents than humans. And they use this skill to communicate with one another. It's literally how they talk. They have an entire language that's built out of smells, says Pennick. Pheromones, chemical signals, like those that create the blue cheese scent that animals produce, form the foundation for this language of smells in ants. The critters have dozens of glands on their bodies where they produce different mixtures of pheromones that they then use to send alarm signals, leave scent trails to food sources, indicate the quality of those food sources, identify members of their colony or intruders from other packs, distinguish between the queen and the worker ants, and countless other reasons. All through scent and fucking pheromones.
That's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
That is crazy. It's insane.
And to think we're out here fucking walking around like with the most incredibly embarrassing main character syndrome, thinking that we're the top of the fucking heap because we speak and we have laptops and we drive to work. Dude, we are nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if anybody's at the top, it's Tocco.
Tocco's at the top right now. Dude, that guy's living his best life. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed that. And thanks for tuning in. And if you want to support the podcast, you can leave a rating and a review wherever you listen to podcasts and wherever they give you that option to do that for a podcast.
You can.
And if you want to be a part of the podcast, or you know someone who would make a really great addition to the podcast, you can go to our website, sickboypodcast.com, and you can fill out the future guest form. And if you don't want to do that, but you want to reach out to say something, maybe we'll read it on a future Feel Good Friday episode. You can shoot us an email, info@sickboypodcast.com.
And thanks as always to the people who help make this show possible. A huge thank you to Donovan Morgan, who does the sound design on our Monday episodes, to Rich O'Coin for the theme music and to take part for the theme music, and to Jeff Lonis, our manager. We love you, dude.
That is it for this week.
I'm Brian.
I'm Jeremy, and this is Sick Boy.
And we said,